Hey, my name is Jerry Katz. I'm the president of Entrepreneurs Organization South Florida, multiple businesses. And my message to the world is just love each other. And that's it. That's all it takes. Just love each other.
Take talk. Let's talk. This is the Miten Shah Show. We've asked the same 7 questions to entrepreneurs from all over the world to figure out what makes us tick. Take talk. Let's talk. Welcome everybody. Today we're here with Jerry. Jerry, thanks a lot for doing this.
My pleasure.
Jerry, where are you from? And if you had to explain what your business does to a 7-year-old child, how would you do it?
To a 7-year-old child. Well, I'm from, born in Moscow originally actually, but I live today in Miami. I have multiple businesses. So if I look at my core business today, everything that you work your entire life for, to build for your family, for your community, for everything, I make sure you can sleep at night and relax.
Okay, now how do you do that?
I'm in the insurance business.
Okay.
That's basically, I allow you to sleep at night.
Yeah.
And if something happens, don't worry, your employees, your family, your staff, everything will be there tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. What got you started?
Russian immigrants, right? And we left Russia basically with nothing. But my grandfather was like a black marketeer. Everyone says I was like my grandfather. And we came to the United States basically with nothing, right? My parents were engineers, chemical and mechanical engineers. But we ended up in Michigan, Detroit, and I knew at a small age, young age, 7, 8 years old, that my family had moved me to a neighborhood that had money, right? Affluent neighborhood, but we were the poor folks, right? And I knew there was just something missing. People were going on vacations, and me, my grandfather, my mother, my father, my brother, my grandma were all living in a 2-bedroom apartment, you know what I mean? And kind of that kind of thing. But I actually remember the day that things happened where we didn't have the language, and my mother was working at Dunkin' Donuts, my father was working at a gas station, and they saved up all their money to throw me a birthday party. It was about 7, 8 years old. And it was like a pizza parlor with, pizza and little rides and everything. And I invited everybody in my 2nd grade class. And I remember the day exactly, and no one came. No one came to my party, maybe one boy, right? I remember looking at the window, and one boy came. I think that's the day that changed my life, because I knew at that time something hit me. My father said to me, it was my first failure, maybe, reflecting back, that said, no one came to the party. We said we spent all our money to make a party for you, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And at that moment, that first failure triggered a command, I think, in my head that said, that's it. I'm always going to have people at my party. I'm always going to have people here. I'm always going to have something. And I think that was the core of my entrepreneurial journey, because as I grew older, I knew we were the poor people in an affluent neighborhood, but I had to be friends with the good people. I always had to prove myself. I had to buy the nicer clothes or have a better story. And as I grew, I became that center, of attention, the class clown, first the troublemaker, and then I started, selling lollipops in school and M&M packs, and that was the beginning. I think at that core. By the time I was 17, 18, I was working for Cash, Valet Parking. I started a valet parking company. Oh, wow. Always trying to keep up with the peers where I was, because my family couldn't at that point. Yeah. Until we learned the language, we started to do better, but not where I was. So maybe the insecurity drove me. Yeah.
Insecurity. Is there anything else that keeps you up at night, and what makes you jump out of bed in the morning?
What keeps me out of night is up at night is. I think it's time management is a big thing, right? So I'm the president of EO South Florida, Entrepreneurs Organization South Florida, and it takes a lot of time giving back to the community. I have 2 children, right? I'm divorced, 2 boys, and then I have 3 businesses. And I say to myself, okay, delegate and elevate. Delegate and, how did Jack Welch run General Electric, all over the world if he can't delegate and elevate, right? Or, not that I love Mr. Trump, but I say to myself, oh my God, this guy's running, 50 corporations. He's the president of the United States. He's got a wife, kids, family. How do they do it, right? So that keeps me up at night, though, is the time management portion.
Okay. What makes you jump out of bed in the morning?
What makes me jump out of bed is I think it's giving back. You know, like the best feeling that I get. So I had an exit when I was in 2007. I had an exit, so it was a very good exit. I made a lot of money, that kind of thing. But I realized that that money went fast too. You know, I cut it in half, and then this, and so on. But what makes me get out of bed is really the biggest impact is the people around me, my staff, my employees, my even the clients that we touch. You know, I do a lot of growing and learning with entrepreneurs organizations. I speak, I constant self-improvement, constant self-growth. So I take those values and I spread it through my organization.
During this path, you might have made some mistakes. So what are some of these mistakes that others can learn from?
Leadership skills, right? Leadership skills are truly important, meaning you have to listen. You have to listen to people. You know, as entrepreneurs, we want to drive things home. So I can tell you another story. I used to be what we call an asshole leader. You know, it's either my way or no way. Doesn't work. I lost a team. I lost a good team like that because I was always right. So I learned to shift my leadership skills to, you know, to get buy-in, right? To tell the story, to tell the purpose, to tell the why, and they align with you. If they don't align with you, it's best to remove them off your team, honestly, because then you'll be always pushing. I used to say, I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink. Well, on my team, if you're not going to drink, I'm going to take your head and put it in the water. If you don't get off my team, I lost a great team like that. But that's because I was so obsessed at one point with hitting goals and marks that were financial. And by the way, I've lost everything I've made twice in my life. Yeah, in those types of mistakes. And when I was focused on what and not why. I think that's it.
Nice.
You know.
Looking back, there must have been some moments that you're really happy, proud, satisfied, content with, if you can share some of those moments in your business entrepreneurial life.
But my proudest moments are seeing my staff. Life-changing, you know, where everything that I learn as an entrepreneur, my core values, trust and respect, thirst for learning, just all the self-awareness, lifting people up, allowing people to know that they're better than they think they are, things of that nature. And then watching somebody, you know, who everyone says they don't have a chance, and just excel because they're next to me or they're near me, or when I speak in a room, I have 40 people come and ask, you know, hey, can I work with you? Hey, I love what you said, or hey, that's the feeling when you touch people. You know, and you change their life, and then you know they're going to take that to their families and to their children, you know, and
Sweet. The Tim Ferriss question: if you had a billboard and you could put on any message you want, what would your message to humanity be?
It's a huge question. I mean, it's love each other.
Nice.
Love each other. That's
Sweet.
it.
How has EO made a difference in your personal, family, business, or community life?
Entrepreneurs Organization changed my life. Yeah, changed my life. I was in the real estate world and buying properties and everything throughout Miami, and there was a Serbian guy named Goran. And one day he calls me, he goes, hey, you keep bidding up the properties, we keep going against each other, don't do this, let's have lunch. Had lunch, and he looked at me, he says, you're an EOer. I said, why? He goes, because you get it. I said, what does that mean? Because you're passionate, you talk about your employees, you talk about your family, you want to help the community. He goes, oh, okay, so I joined EO. But EO's core is the core values, right? So I'm a firm believer, I always have been, if one good deal leads to 10 good deals. I can give away a little bit, it's okay, you know, and that works. So EO's core values of trust and respect, thirst for learning, boldly go, make a mark, that to me is the biggest filter, right, of life. So I entered this organization, they trained me in Gestalt, which is a non-judgmental, because nobody wants to be told what they're wrong or what you're not good at, right? So it created a safe place of my peers that go through the same thing, right, for us to learn and grow and become vulnerable and share with each other. But that journey, because, you know, like in the United States, a lot of people go to therapies and they go to this. That world doesn't
Prozac.
Right, or Prozac, or they get medicated. But going through those lifelines and those vulnerabilities and the reflection of a peer group that is completely filtered, they're only there to collaborate with me, help with me, learn and grow from me, not take anything from me, and assist me in any way, right? That filter, right, allowed me to create this safe place to learn and grow from each other. And then throw in all the learning and all the this and all that kind of stuff. So today it's my family, it's my friends. It's usually who I choose to do business with also.
Okay, yeah.
Because we're all in the same core values and things like that. Then you throw in all the learning, right? And in the EO you learn that you may think you have a human resource problem or a cash flow problem. No, you have a you problem. It's something up in here, a self-limiting belief, or you know, and we go through the ups and downs together, and it's an incredible community.
It's the one with the most toys that wins, but also the one with the best connections. And now we're going to connect.
All right.